And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. Welcome back, my people. So you see the title of the video, and I decided to do this video because I actually was watching a video from the Dreamers Pro, and it was about LeBron James and his retirement. Matter of fact, it was a live stream, and it was like breaking news on the Ducks' decision about whether he was going to return. This is not the exact title of the video, but this is what the video was about. The Duck deciding he was going to return. He's officially returning to the NBA next season. Surprise, surprise, people. Did anyone think he wasn't going to return next season? At the very least, I felt like he was going to return so that he can play 23 years to match his jersey number. Or some else ridiculous reason besides the obvious is that this guy is not going to know what to do once he is out of the spotlight of the NBA. But I was watching this video on Dreamers Pro. When I read the title of the video, I thought to myself, I'm going to click on this video because it's Dreamers Pro, and I enjoy watching Dreamers Pro videos. But I'm not clicking on this video because I think we're getting some surprise information. I didn't click on this video because I was like, oh, LeBron made a decision. Let's click on and see if he's going to retire or not. No, I knew, as I'm sure most people knew, that LeBron James was not going to retire. Now, like I said, I think he's going to at least play through next year, but I have a feeling LeBron James is probably going to be around 2 to 3, 4, 5 more years. As long as LeBron James is capable of milking the NBA for praise and money, I believe he's going to continue to do that. It's my opinion, fanboys. You can go cry in the corner. But it got me thinking, man, LeBron James, this guy has no credibility whatsoever. He has completely ruined not only his credibility, but the credibility of the NBA. And that is because, obviously, when you are ruining your credibility, that means people don't know whether to believe you or not. So, other videos that I've been seeing go around is talking about LeBron James' injury. I've seen Dreamers Pro do videos on that. I watched Skip Bayless, basically said he thinks LeBron James is faking this injury. And I tend to agree. Again, as I was hearing people talk about the LeBron James injury, not only did I think to myself that I don't believe he's injured, but the sad part is at this point, I thought to myself, I don't care if he's injured. I don't care if LeBron James is injured because he does this so much. Because the guy just can't simply say, hey, I didn't get it done. Like, I wasn't good enough. I didn't play well enough. I didn't get it done. And so when after every time you lose, it comes out that you got some sort of injury, it's like at a certain point, people stop caring. Again, LeBron James has ruined his credibility with a lot of people. And this is a shame because, again, it's the boy who cried wolf. It's like when you actually need help, people aren't going to be there. Because number one, there's no way to tell if you actually need help or not. There's no way to tell if LeBron James is injured. He always seems to have some lingering injury, aka excuse, for his failures. You know, his last couple of years, it's been the sore ankle. You know, it's been the foot, which he never got surgery for. It's been all of these things. The guy has ruined his credibility in the NBA. You know, the other thing, you know, he was on Pat McAfee. Everybody, this was a big deal. He was on Pat McAfee because of the thing going on between him and Stephen A. He chose to go on Pat McAfee's show and make a utter ridiculous fool out of himself. But this is not new. This is what LeBron James does any and every time he's near a microphone. He makes a fool out of himself. But he gets on there and he talks about the perception that he gets all of these foul calls. And he goes to say, you know, I've been in the bottom. People are always surprised when they join my team because they were like, man, I thought you got all the foul calls. And then they join my team and like, man, you don't get any fouls. Proceeds to tell people that he's been in the bottom half of, you know, free throws, which is an absolute and utter lie. And like I said, I did a video on this, and like LeBron James does shoot less free throws than he used to. Now, some people were saying it's because he's on the Lakers and he's been shooting more threes. This is not actually truth, because one of his years on the Lakers, he actually shot, was one of his most free throw shooting years. So I don't believe it's just because he's taking threes. It's because the original reason that I said, and that is because he's ruined his credibility with the refs. When you keep flopping, like I said, not only are you lying, but you're essentially making a fool of the refs, right? When they make a call for you and then have to go back and review it and see that it wasn't any contact at all, like this is essentially making a fool of the refs. So again, you're gonna stop getting calls like that. So yeah, LeBron James again has ruined the credibility for himself, but not just that. He has ruined the credibility of the NBA and the media associated with the NBA. He's ruined the credibility of the NBA and the media associated with the NBA because the NBA has done its best to promote LeBron James as something he is not. And it is during this LeBron James era that we have gotten all of the, not just the rewriting of history, but the trying to change the meaning of things that previously had a lot of meaning. Like, for example, you know, talking about killer mentality. There is a reason why the people who were given that label were given that label. Not every superstar in the NBA, not even every champion received that kind of label of this guy is like a killer. And that is for a reason. You know, when we think of, you know, killers, we think of Jordan, we think of the Kobes, we think of Larry Birds, and I think someone who's probably doesn't get enough credit for having that is Magic Johnson. And I think it's because Magic Johnson was the true facilitator of the game. Like he was the true pass first player, you know, unlike LeBron James. But Magic Johnson, like I said, to me, he made passing and facilitating just as spectacular as some of the greatest scorers. But again, you know, I would say the top three that are thought of immediately are Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Larry Bird. These three have that label for a reason. It is because they were ruthless on the court. They were ruthless on the court. It is because they wanted to actually destroy the competition. It wasn't just about winning. It was about stepping on you so that you know that you are not on my level. it was just as much about the individual matchups as it was about the team success, as it was about winning, as it was about getting championships. It was just as much about the individual matchups. They wanted these whoever was guarding them to understand that you are not on my level. And I'm going to do everything from a physical, mental, and skill standpoint to prove my point. I'm not going to give you any kind of reprieve. I'm not going to show you any kind of mercy. Like, if you show me your weakness, I'm going to exploit that. Like, I'm going to make you, if you're going to want to prove that you are on the same level as me, you're going to have to prove you're just as mentally tough as I am. You're going to have to prove that you can stand up to the pressure that I'm going to put on you every single time I play. And it's never going to let up. On offense or defense, it's never going to let up. This is why people like Jordan, Kobe, and Bird got that label as killers on the court. But now in the LeBron James era, they basically try to frame having a killer mentality as like, oh, well, if he didn't have a killer mentality, how could he have 4 championships? Because in a game with variables, it is always possible to win. It could just be your year. Like the Bucks. Like the Denver Nuggets. But it's the people who have a certain kind of mindset that never ever lets up. These are the people who get that label of killer. Not just because you win some games, or not even just because you've won championships. Everybody doesn't get that label. And then we go back to, recently, and I may do a separate video on this, I don't know, but we go back to LeBron James on his Just a Game podcast, on his Mind Game podcast, basically, trying to alleviate himself of any responsibility, accountability again by emphasizing that basketball is a team sport. Can't just put it on me. There are other guys on the floor. LeBron James, I may have to do a separate video on this because the stuff he was saying in this video is just complete and utter ridiculousness. But again, it's trying to change the perception. Everybody knows that teams win championships, but guess what? The teams that have the greatest superstars win more. Why is that? Because when it comes to the pressure, this is what makes the superstars. And it all ties together. There's no coincidence that the people who are normally most disciplined are the people who practice the most. There is no coincidence that the people who are most disciplined often can stand up to the pressure the most. So the superstars are typically, not all the time, but typically these kind of guys, these kind of personalities, the kind of personalities who are more mentally tough, more disciplined, and can stand up to the pressure. Because again, this is what separates them. What separates the superstars is they can deliver in the pressure moments. Because again, I've said this before, we've all seen guys, if you've played organized sports on any level, we've all seen guys, and I'm more specifically talking about basketball, but we've all seen guys who are great in practice. In practice, they can't miss. But they can never do it in a game. And so it's levels. Like you got guys who can they're great in practice but can't do it in the game. But then you got guys who are great for 3 quarters in the game and can't do it in the 4th quarter, aka LeBron James. Or LeBron James types. So it's the superstars that make the difference. So again, when LeBron James is trying to alleviate himself of any accountability and responsibility, this is what we get. We get the, oh, well, you know, teams win championships, so you know you can't put that blame on me. I mean, I know I didn't do anything in the fourth quarter, but so did the rest of the guys. So well, I was failing in the fourth quarter, so somebody should have picked up the slack so that I could take credit for the win. Because I'm definitely going to take credit for the win. When people are praising me for the win, best believe I'm not going to say, oh, well, you know, don't give me the credit. It was a team effort. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to talk all about me. Well, you know, this was my 11th trip to the finals. And, you know, I just amaze myself at, you know, I just keep my body in shape, you know, occasional trips to Miami, and you know I do these things to make sure that I'm prepared for the moment, and you know he's gonna take all the credit when it comes to the win. He's not gonna talk this, but every time it's a loss, LeBron James is quick to talk about how it's a team accomplishment. And again, it's not just LeBron James; it's the NBA media who is promoting these kind of things too. So the NBA has lost all credibility. Again, we've been hearing for years about the ratings. About the ratings are down because people are consuming it in other ways. People just aren't watching TV. But what happened this year when they allowed some physicality? Oh, all of a sudden the ratings get a boost. That shows you that no, it's not just because people are consuming it. It's because nobody wanted to watch your product. Nobody wants to watch some unphysical basketball where they're shooting a bunch of threes. And don't get me wrong, more people are watching. But guess what? If they stop shooting so many threes, even more people will watch. Because again, the most excitement for the game is in the paint, in the mid-range, and then the paint. That's where the most excitement comes from. Again, you might hear people cheer and clap when someone makes a three-point shot, but you don't get that. You don't get that same feeling as when someone comes and dunks through contact on a 7-footer or on 2 7-footers. It's not the same thing. Like, you don't get that, oh my goodness, like he just, you don't get that that feeling that makes you want to cringe for the person who got dunked on, because you understand that, like, not only did the person who did the dunking, who was the person who was the aggressor, not only did they pull off an amazing feat to dunk through contact, but you also realize how embarrassing that was for the guy who got dunked on. There is not the same kind of excitement from the three-point line as it is from the mid-range in the paint. But again, going back to what they've been telling us about these ratings. Oh, it's not the game. The game is best as ever been. These are the most skilled players in the world. It has nothing to do with the game. It's just people consuming it other ways. And then this year they allow the refs to let them play more physical, and guess what? All of a sudden the games are more exciting. So all of a sudden people are tuning in more. So again, the NBA has lost credibility because it has tried to promote things that aren't true. LeBron James has lost credibility because he says things that aren't true over and over and over again. The ESPY Awards speech, where he said, the day I can't give my all to the game is the day I walk away. LeBron James, that's a lie. You should have been walked away. Don't say it if you don't mean it. If you don't mean that you're actually going to walk away, don't say it, because you not been giving your all to the game for a long time. Your reaction to losing is very nonchalant. Like the one thing we can guarantee is that you're gonna have an excuse, like you did. Like, so apparently, you know, who did he bump into? I can't even remember the guy's name, but he bumped into, supposedly, and this is the play where he's laying on the ground. Which play is that? Because LeBron James is laying on the ground several times a game. But anyway, it's the play where he was laying on the ground and versus the Timberwolves. And apparently this is the play that injured him. But guess what? The rest of the game, he didn't look like he had an injury at all. But when they lost, now all of a sudden you see a picture of him limping back to the locker room or whatever. And but then he goes out and parties till 4 a.m. Anyway, you get my point. LeBron James fanboys, you are ridiculous, and so is your king. Your king is ridiculous, and so are you for trying to defend this guy on a regular basis. This is completely ridiculous. You guys have no credibility because of that as well. Let me not leave you guys out. LeBron has no credibility. The NBA has no credibility. The NBA media has no credibility. And LeBron James fanboys have no credibility whatsoever. You guys are the worst. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, you know, what do you think about all of these things that just repeatedly over and over again that has been, it's like you don't know what to believe anymore. You don't know what to believe regarding LeBron James. Anything that he says, you cannot take it at face value. Nothing. Even something as serious as what an injury is supposed to be. That's a serious thing if someone is actually hurt. But more often than not, this guy doesn't have any receipts of being hurt. Again, 2 years ago, supposedly, he needed foot surgery all season. Never got that surgery. Comes back the next year and just wants to pretend like people should forget about it. Hey, that was last year. That was my excuse last year, guys. Don't worry about that. I got a new excuse this year. Now it's ankle soreness. Don't worry about what I was saying last year. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.